A report on the topic is offered for your attention on the coherence of the formation of containing and or containing Precambrian formation Orikhovo-Pavlograd sutures zone of the Ukrainian shelf. The work was carried out in connection with the solution of the problem of structural control of the mineralization of metallic minerals within the boundaries of the Ukrainian shelf. Data on the structural and material organization of the North Tertian folded forms the contained metamorphogenic formation of the northern part of the Orikhovo-Pavlograd suture zone have been systematized. On slide second, the Orikhovo-Pavlograd suture zone with a bold dotted line is highlighted and the area of detailed works with the blue polygon is marked. The Orikhovo-Pavlograd suture zone, OPSZ, of the Ukrainian shelf USH is clearly distinguished from the adjacent megablocks Middle Dnieper and Prizovsky by geological, structural, and geophysical parameters. In the first approximation, the OPSA is a subvertical monocline of submeridional extension. The monocline is formed of the lens pad-like bodies of different sizes of tonality composition, tonality genesis, Darned biotite genesis, feldspar, and ferruginous quartzes, amphibolites, granites. All of them subconcordately overlap each other and have a similar bed position. According to the data of predecessors, the isotopic age in the range of 3.6 to 1.9 billion years is known of the geological bodies of the OPSA. The deposits and or occurrence of iron, gold, uranium, source uranium, and other minerals within the boundaries of the OPSA are known. The complex of geological structure and geochronological data indicates predecessors the multi-phase formation of the Orikhovo-Pavlograd suture zone in the Precambrian. Uranium source mineralization within, according to the data of predecessors, the boundary of the North Tertium folded forms a layer of schistone and melanizate fluorite micaceous quartzes among the micaceous quartzes of the Wolfchan formation localized. Despite the considerable work of provisional researchers regarding in condition of formation of or occurrence and deposit of the studied parts of the US ash and the regularities of the allocation questions remain open. The purpose of this work was to clarify the structural patterns of finding and condition for the formation of areas promising for uranium sortium and some other mineral within the limits of the OPSA. I used to study the promise of our bearing Precambrian structure of the US ash was a comprehensive approach. It involves the processing and analysis of source information, geological and geophysical data from production reports and published materials, field documentation of kinematic indicators and structure mapping using methods of structural and genetic analysis. The latter takes into account the morphological and spatial characteristic of dislocation formation, the material composition, and the PT condition of formation, information about the age and CQ of formation. The author of the work information on the petrostructure organization of the OPCZ within its northern part additionally systemized. The systemization consisted in the processing of actual material regarding the placement of striation, linearity, and other metamorphogenic structure using the StereoNet 2.46 program, as well as in the consideration of the North Tertian folded form according to the principle of the hierarchy of geostructures. Field of seeking isoline in slide 8 and 9. The special arrangement of metamorphogenic structure of the respective generation are reflected. In this, the location structure of the first generation were formed by mineral paragenesis of the granulate facing of metamorphism. Structures of generation 3 are represent of mineral aggregates of the amphibolite faces. Their age is tied to a time step of about 2.8 billion years. Similar structures of generation 5 formed by mineral paragnesic of the green schist facing of metamorphism are tied to a timestamp of about 1.9 million years. Placement of post-metamorphogenic dislocation formations on stereograms is not carried out because they imitated the elements of the occurrence of all deformation. Thus, the same structure and material paragnesis is manifest in all rock types of geological bodies within study part of the OPSA. There are indicated in terms of spatial position, number of generation of structural elements, PT condition of implementation. Therefore, all the study rocks varies of the OPCZ were formed in a similar and gradual way. The structural and material transformation in their volumes took place cooperative or simultaneously in several stages in a significantly shear tectonic condition against the background of regressive change in the PT parameters of the environment. The North states folded from containing uranium source mineralization at Osmachko level by subannular and linear plate-like components, slide 9 right, is represented. Elements of the occurrence of the latter are subordinate to such elements ORPC as a whole. At the meso level, both components line and sub-ring of the north stars and followed from are formed by concordance plate lens like geological bodies with the depositional elements that are similar to those for microcomponents. Geological bodies of the meso levels, both in the line and sub-ring components of the north stars and folded form, striated and schistosity. Textural patterns are determined by the presence of mineral aggregates that vary in the degree of elongation and the size of mineral grains and degrees of metamorphism from granularity to green shift faces. Therefore, all structure minerals and age attributes of the north stars and folded forms mutually consist. Also, above shows that the line and subannular components of the North Station fall form, as well as the continent geological bodies formed in interrelate in several stages. Hence, the line and macro components of the North Station fall form is a zone of secondary bending and schistosity of stage 3, 4. There's a fall from. And its pole in the paint of application of tectonic compression forces. The location of the rotation axis of generation 4 and 5 is close to vertical. That is follow from this data that the subannular components of the north stars follow from was created due to shear rotation of metamorphogenic strata in several stages. Area of schistose and melanizite chloride mica quartzes among micaceous quartzes of the Wolfchan formation containing uranium source mineralization according to our data. As a result of at least the fourth stage of structure and material transformation of the investigate fragment of the OPCZ. The transformation described above in the form of step-by-step model of the evolution of the structure material patterns of a fragment of the investigate crystalline base have been restored, and as a result of such an evolution, the creation of ore-bearing structure and in the last model of formation, a single uranium source respective structure created can be used in further research. The Orikhovo-Pavlograd suture zone is a complex dislocation formation because it was formed in several stages of tectonic metamorphogenic in transformation of the crystalline base. The first five of them operate under PT condition from the granulate to green schist phases of metamorphism, and the rest at low temperature values. The nose tertium follow from is a highly coherence dislocation structure formed under significantly shear tectonic condition. This occupies the position of a sheared roll structure, which was finally created at the fourth and fifth stages of structural and material transformation of the Precambrian base about 2.0 and 1.9 billion years ago. The types of genesis of the uranium insertion or clusters within the OPCZ corresponds to a tectonometamorphic shown in slide 10. Model can be used in further research in the search restoration of or prospective structure. Thank you for your attention.